Hi, Carlos Martin here. In today's video, we're going to cover a few things that are important to a lot of us, where I think the real estate market is going, talk a little bit about the economy. I'm also going to talk about what I'm doing to stay positive during these times, because these are, hard times for a lot of people. So stay tuned. So the real estate market in 2008, when we had the crash, there was a lot of lenders that were just lending money to people that didn't qualify. This is a different case. People that own their homes now, have qualified for their homes. They have equity on their property. So it's completely different. All right. If you've lost your jobs now, I'm going to talk a little bit about forbearance and deferment of payments, what you could do. But, the market now is completely different from what it was before. In 2008, there was a lot of defaults. Banks went for foreclosures. And let me tell you, banks lost their ass. They lost their ass during those times because, they had to hire attorneys to go up for foreclosures and try to get people out of their houses and foreclose. And, that was a nightmare for banks. They took 2-3 years to get people out, and they spend thousands and thousands of dollars in attorney fees. So, this is different. Banks are working with people now. They don't want what happened in 2008 because, they lost money, and banks are in it to make money. They're not in it to lose money. So they're going to protect people. They're going to help people out, which is good. The government's also pressuring them to help people out. So there's something called forbearance, where you can call your bank or deferment of payment. And, this doesn't really affect your credit. You want to make sure you get this in writing, where you can maybe put 3 months from now, your payments, instead of paying it now, you pay it at the end of the loan. Okay, so you want to make sure you get that in writing. That will protect you. So for people that are not working right now, or someone that might have lost their job, this might be an option, and it helps you out. So you want to call your bank, call and ask for a forbearance or deferment of payment and negotiate. They might not want to give it to you at the first, but just be firm. Tell them everybody's going through this and get it in writing. All right, make sure it doesn't affect your credit. Make sure it's at the end of the loan. And also, one thing they're doing is they're putting it as a balloon payment. When that is done at the 3 months or the 4 months they give you, you have to pay it at once. Make sure that is not there. Another option you could do is refi your loan. The rates have gone down tremendously, probably the lowest you would ever see. So, for example, if you're at a 4.5 or a 5 and you could get it down 1 point, that will make sense, because now your payments are going to be lower. You could also get some of your equity, get some money. There's people that are saying, you know what? Now that I'm home, I don't like my job. Maybe I want to start something like a side hustle. Maybe I want to start a business. Get some of that equity, put that money in your savings, or have that money as a cushion. And if your payment is about the same or lower, that would make sense. So that's another option that you could do. So call us about that, and, we'll help you out with that. We'll, put you in touch with our lenders and so what. A lot of people are asking me, do you think the prices are going to drop, or things are going to get really low like they got in 2008? And, I'm optimistic about this. I don't think prices are going to drop where they were in 2008, which was a 30 and 40%, because there was a lot of foreclosures. Like I said, lenders are going to try to work with the sellers so they don't foreclose. That might be a loan modification, that may be extending the payment. So that's going to give a cushion for the sellers to put the house on the market. That being said, if you need to sell your property in a hurry because you don't have a job, you might price that property where it's a great deal, So what I think is you're going to get great deals, but you're not going to get steals, And the other reason is, we have a shortage of properties here in South Florida. Supply and demand. Real estate moves as supply and demand. And before all this, you would see builders like Lennar, a lot of these new homes being built, and they were sold out. And even with high CDD taxes, they were all sold out. There's new malls like that Mall of America that's being built by I-75. That's a very large mall, one of the largest in the country, that needs homes. And, we don't have land here. Everything is built. So we do have a shortage of properties. And that's why I don't think the market is just going to crash or go down, because, we need properties. I'm not talking about condos. Condos is a different story. There's a high supply of that. But I'm talking about single family homes. So that's where I think the market is not here in South Florida. I think it's going to create some opportunities. So if you're a buyer and you want to get a good deal, you're going to get a good deal, I also want to say this to buyers that are getting financing, and I've been in real estate for almost 20 years. In 2008, when there were some foreclosures or the market had slowed down, lenders tying up their guidelines. So, instead of you now qualifying with 3%, You might need 5%. You might need more tax returns. So keep that in mind. Don't be on the sideline being, oh, I'm going to wait, because then now you might need more down payment and you might need more financing. And then the other thing I got to say is, if things do come down at a good amount, the big boys come out. You know, who are the big boys? The cash buyers, the guys that have equity line on their own property and they have money up front. Those guys will be hard to compete with. Back in 2008, 2009, they were taking about, out of 10 properties, they were buying 8 or 9, and it was very hard to compete with them. So don't sit on the sideline. If you need a property and you want to go out and find, there will be deals, okay? And there will be properties you can get at a great price. So the market here, I think, is going to continue. I don't think it's going to have a crash or a drop. I think they're going to be deals. They're not going to be steals. So that's my opinion. That's what I think. Also, I want to emphasize this for a seller. You know, if someone is going through hard times because they lost their jobs or can't afford their home, you know, don't let it go to foreclosure. That's the worst thing you could do, in my opinion. You know, in 2008, 2009, people try to fight it with attorneys and stay in their homes, and at the end, the banks always win, you know? And then those people can buy again. You know, the banks are not gonna lend you money if your situation changes a year or two from now, or sooner. You get a job and you start working, now you have a foreclosure, now you can't buy a house again, now you can create equity, now you don't have options, you have to rent. And you know, if inflation goes up, you know, rent prices are gonna go up. That's something people don't think about, you know, so if you need to sell your house because you don't have a job, you know, yes, rent for a little bit, and then you could buy again, because you're not going to have a foreclosure and your credit is not going to be affected that much. That's what I think is the best option, you know, from being around. And I think, you know, look at all your options, but in my opinion, that's probably the best option. Also, what am I doing to stay positive? You know, these are hard times, guys. You know, I know people that are not here anymore because of this COVID-19. It's sad, you know. I also know people that have it right now that I'm praying, and you know, they are doing better. So this is not easy, you know. I'm home. I'm not going out. If I do go out to buy groceries, wear a mask. You know, the countries that have come out of this with better numbers always wear a mask. So keep that in mind. I'm home. I'm taking care of my little one, and those of you that have kids, you know, it's actually a positive thing to be home with your kids and, you know, spending time with them. I try to stay present, have a good time with them. It's not their fault. You know, it's sad that some of these kids are missing their prom, and, you know, they're home and, you know, they're missing their friends. So they cheer you up. Kids cheer you up. So, you know, be present for them. Enjoy the time that you have. I'm also learning about different things. I'm reading about economy, stocks, cryptocurrencies, just about everything that in my free time now that I have, I couldn't do before. Some people are doing some hobbies. Maybe you want a side business. You know, now is the time to learn that side business and educate yourself. You know, it's a great time to do that now. We'll get through this. You know, at the end, we're a strong country. We're actually the strongest country, in my opinion, in the world. And everybody's going through this, not just us, it's all the other countries as well. So the economy is going to hurt everywhere, not just here. So keep that in mind. And at the end, in my opinion, to get out of this, we need to start building things here. You know, I remember when I was a kid, my grandparents, my mom, you know, worked at factories. We used to build things here, you know, and the economy was better here when things were being built in here. You know, and as a consumer, do your part. You know, if we are building things here, buy American, you know, buy products that are done here, even if you have to pay a little bit more, you know. I'll take it a further step and say influencers, you know, let's start a movement, and people that are celebrities, start a movement where you want to buy stuff in the USA, because that, I think, in my opinion, will bring jobs here, will stimulate the economy, and at the end, you know, we won't depend on other countries so much like we're doing now. I think that's something positive we'll take out of this, and I hope whoever's in charge will take care of that and promote that, and also us as consumer would do that as well. So guys, any questions you have about real estate, please call me. You know, I know some of you have a lot of questions. I'm also calling a lot of my friends to see how they're doing. You know, I've read some posts on Facebook where people say, hey, if you don't have food, you know, contact me. Be kind, guys. It's all great stuff to do now. Be kind to your friends. Be kind to your family, your neighbors. You know, I'll be calling a lot of my clients and friends. Just want to check, see how everybody's doing. Stay safe and take care, guys.